Hello kids, the continuing adventure of me in my cycle up the British Isles. Okay, this is day 12, Glen to Inverness. If you saw yesterday's update, you'd have seen that it was quite hard going. The weather battered us a bit in the afternoon and I was pretty exhausted as a result last night and when I made the video. Or this morning I could still feel the effects of that. I woke up very tired, most tired I've been on the trip, and how I've been expecting to feel really. So I guess in a perverse sort of way it's sort of nice to actually have the hardship and not just breeze through it all. But yeah, I woke up achy today, and the fact that the weather was looking pretty grim, hearing all sorts of scary stories about, well, not scary, but stories about snow and hail and ridiculous temperatures for the end of May, and all that coupled with my tired state and the fact that we had a hard 82-mile route today didn't really have me at the races or thrilled to get in the saddle this morning. I had a bit of brekkie and put on just about all the layers I could because the weather was cold this morning, and there's just, you know, a lot of this with the countryside the way it is up here, it's so exposed. The wind was just blowing around Glen and it was cold. We were all huddled in the shelter of the van when we had our address this morning. Yeah, a bit of a negative start to the day, I suppose. I had no energy for the first 30 miles. I was just tired really. We had a brew van. I was a little bit better after that. The scenery was still nice. We followed the Caledonian Canal along for a bit, but because I was knackered and because the weather was a bit crap, no one really felt like hanging around, so we didn't take that many photos. What else? There's some sort of commando statue somewhere. There was some Help for Heroes guys that were there at the time, and they were just, you know, doing crazy stuff. They were doing a John O'Groats to Land's End bike ride in 10 days, and while they were doing that, they were going to do 4 peaks, the 3 usual ones: Scafell Pike, Ben Nevis, Snowdonia, and one in Ireland, whatever the big one is over there. And apparently they're also going to row across the Irish Sea to Ireland or something. I mean, that just sounds mental to me. That rowing bit, I'm still not sure if that's possible or right, or they're just having us on. But anyway, hats off to them. That's proper extreme. And yes, however hard or whatever you think you're doing, there's always someone who can put it into perspective. So yeah, that was that. I felt a bit better after the first brew van. Something I'd had, whether it be breakfast or me energy bars or all the crap I shoved down my throat at the brew stop, something gave me a little bit of energy, so I managed to plod along till lunch. We had a late lunch today. It's not 60 miles, at the 50-mile mark. And then after that we had a big climb, went on for about 5 miles, and it took me about 45 minutes to get up. Yeah, that was quite tough, but I was determined to get up it without stopping, even though I was having a bad day. I think it's probably the biggest or certainly longest climb on the whole trip, so it seemed important to me not to wimp out or stop or take an easy option. So I went up all the way. There was roadworks halfway up actually, and there was a young Scottish girl dressed in all the sort of day glow sort of highway maintenance gear, just with a manual stop-go sign, and I was plodding up a steep gradient about 5 miles an hour, so walking pace really. And as I got up to it and within shouting distance, I just said to her, "Don't you dare swap that sign to stop." Cause I just didn't want to stop. I wanted to go all the way through. She just smiled at me and said, "Don't worry, I'm not changing it." So yeah, bit of amusement on the way up. As I got to the top, the weather closed in, and it was hail and rain and wind. So impressive vantage point from the stop, but I didn't hang about. I took a couple of photos, but I don't know how well they'd have come out in the weather anyway. I didn't hang about after that. I pressed on. So that was that. Made it to the next brew van. And then I finally had to put my leggings on, which I'd not done yet this trip. Partly because I just don't like wearing them. And they don't make that much unless it's really cold. You can usually get by without leggings. You know, it doesn't matter too much if your core bits are warm. Your hands and feet and your torso, your legs don't matter so much. But the way the weather was looking, I bit the bullet and put them on. So yeah. And then the last 20 miles or so were a slog. Yeah, no other way of putting it. It wasn't particularly hilly or anything, but I just had no energy. Any energy I managed to muster after my start today when I was exhausted. I guess I got some energy from somewhere, from something I've been eating, but I think it was all used up with that big 5-mile climb. So the last 20 miles I sort of limped into Inverness at a pretty pathetic pace. The most tired or most empty I've been coming into my destination on the whole trip. Yeah, not a lot left in the tank at all. Body playing up a bit, wear and tear, as I guess it will by this stage. Me backside was a bit sorer today, and my knees have been hurting a bit. I think maybe just general tiredness, or as I'm having to push down harder as I'm getting more tired. But nothing serious, I hope. But just wear and tear really. So long day. I think we left about 8:30. I got into Inverness about 6:30, maybe even 7:20. So yeah, long hard day. 80 plus miles. And yeah, just after the battering we got yesterday, it's and the fact that it's now the 12th day in a row, my body's maybe just starting to go, what the hell? This is enough. So only 2 days to go. Only I think about 148 miles, but yeah, starting to think maybe that'll be enough. Had a quiet night tonight. There was no arranged meal or anything. I think some of the others met up. I dare say I could have found them if I wanted to, but I just fancied a quiet night, so I just found a pub, had some pasta. That's the other thing. I've not been really looking after myself as well as I should have. Partly been getting a bit blasé about it because things have been going okay, and partly because I've not been finding the right stuff on menus the last couple of days. But especially with my energy being so low today, I was determined to get some pasta somewhere. So I just wandered around Inverness, found a pub with some pasta on the menu, and had some of that tonight. Just had a quiet one by myself. Straight back here for hopefully an early night, and hopefully a bit of a better day tomorrow, energy-wise. Weather is ridiculously cold for me. I don't know what it's like for up here. I know things can get a bit silly up here, but everyone's moaning about it. Also, what else? Roadkill. It's getting quite impressive up here. I've seen about 4 or 5 deers or stags by the side of the road since well, yesterday and today. So yeah, getting a bit bigger and bulkier up here. And that's about it, I think. Yeah, the only other thing which I forgot to mention in yesterday's video update was one thing showing how tired I was when I got back to the B&B. I didn't know what room I was in. There's no numbers on the doors. I didn't bother taking the key out because she said, "Oh, don't worry, we don't lock the doors or anything around here." And when I got back, got to the top of the stairs, looked at about 4 or 5 blank doors, didn't have a clue which room I was in. So that's partly moving around every night and being disorientated, and partly being knackered. So I had to go downstairs and say, "Excuse me, what room am I in?" I'm sure they thought I was probably pissed, but I wasn't. I was just knackered and disorientated. Yeah, mentally, maybe it's all starting to take a toll a little bit. I do feel alright, but just little things I'm noticing. When I got into Inverness tonight, it took me ages to find my B&B. I couldn't remember the instructions. I had to keep getting them out at every corner, and at one bit I was reading the instructions to the wrong B&B and stuff. So yeah, just little things like that showing that I am a bit tired, obviously. And that's about it. I'll stop rabbiting. This has been going on a while. Hopefully better day tomorrow, shorter day, and only 66 miles. Hopefully the weather will not be too brutal. That'd be nice. Headwinds again today. And then the day after that is a long one, but it's the last one, so hopefully that should give us some impetus and make a difference. We shall see. I'll tell you about it later.